because what the political office holders are getting is beyond the ordinary. And you look at yourself, you're a professor, you're getting so little money, and then some young men who you taught a couple of years ago are out there earning fast salaries, which is like 4 or 5 times what you earn. Even people with unverifiable school certificates, we used to call it G4 in those days, are earning so much big amounts of money. So why wouldn't a professor feel slighted and say, well, if you don't pay me a fast salary, no deal, no teaching? Why wouldn't the medical doctor feel that way? So until we come to that national consensus, where we place all income earners in one pack and say, justify why we should pay you X. What is your contribution to the national development? What is your contribution to the welfare of others, as to ensure that you should earn 2 million while others are earning 200,000 or 300,000? So it is high time we have that empirical way of determining the wage structure, so that we place people in their proper context based on their contributions to the economy. Until we do that, we keep having a ballooning wage bill. That's what we're suffering.
You brought up an issue I think has also been in the media recently, the fact that when it comes to the budget of the National Assembly, it seems to come in the budget as just a one line. Yes, a lump sum. In all your years of going through this budget, have you been able to get them to give you details?
No. This is a practice that each time they call a particular sum of money, statutory transfer. They now begin to put it in bulk sum. If you look at even that of the Human Rights Commission, even that of INEC, they're all in bulk sum. But we are in court actually currently demanding the disaggregation of these statutory transfers. We asked the Minister of Finance to give us the disaggregation. He said no, she cannot do that, so we went to court. And we're expecting that in February the court will rule to justify why they should not allow citizens access to the details and particulars of their budget, because we are talking of public money being spent in a so-called constitutional democracy. No institution or agency of government or individual should have the opportunity of spending public money without the public knowing what is spending it on. And unfortunately, the National Judicial Commission, the National Judicial Council, their money also comes as a bulk sum. So we expect that the court should be able to say, disaggregate this money. Let's know what is being spent upon, so that Nigerians can know the propriety of those expenditures. Because in the past, the National Assembly have had such votes, very frivolous votes, as members' image laundering for 150 million. So maybe that's why they're deciding to hide it. There was a particular year they thought their image was a little bit dirty, and they said members' image laundering for 150 million. And that's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, now looking at this year's budget, I know it was presented about 3-4 weeks. Yes, have you started looking at it?
Yeah, we've started, but we've not concluded. Hopefully in the next couple of days we'll conclude, and as soon as the National Assembly resumes sometime next week or thereabout, we'll be able to send it to them.
Okay, but thus far, have you seen any?
No, there are quite a lot of frivolous and wasteful expenditure. Nothing has changed. Like I said, it's continuation of the norm. So we have to still talk about them like we did in previous years. We keep chanting until the walls of Babylon or the walls of Jericho fall. We can't give up the fight.
I need to understand from you, what does this say of our budgetary system in a situation where even the people themselves, in some cases, are aware and not comfortable with what has been put down, in other cases where they are not even aware what is in the budget? What sort of...
Well, I think all over the world, budgets are quite technical, they are quite big in figures, so they are not very flashy documents that everybody wants to immerse himself in or to begin to read. Now, it's up to the people to take time and dig into the budget, or allow some people to dig it into the budget for them, and when the facts and figures are brought out, to write on it to be able to do the campaigns. Because the man or woman who spends sleepless nights going through a maze of figures may not be the best position to also begin to lead campaigns in the streets about them. So when these figures are dug up, then we have another set of people who should be able to carry this along. But also in our own case, we still try to do some advocacy case beyond digging up these figures. So it's for the Nigerian people to take the decision on what they want. In a democracy, if you're lazy, if you don't fight for your rights, you get nothing. That's exactly what we are facing.
I was looking through the budget for this year, and I kept seeing in most of the agencies, most ministries, this line item, budget preparation. In some places, it's 10 million for budget preparation. In other places, I got a figure of even 180 million.
Budget preparation should not be a special budget cost hit, because people are already being paid to do certain aspects of the work that should lead to the ministry preparing. Or are they hiring external consultants? Have they lost the capacity in-house to do it? So these are some of the things, like you pointed out on your own, that are not supposed to be in the budget. But year after year, when people complain about certain budgets and begin to ridicule it or make noise about it, maybe they may abandon that budget and shift to another thing. And one of the most ridiculous budgets we face year in, year out, which has refused to change, is the budget of the Ministry of Agriculture. Every year, if you go this year, you still see they play on words: seeds, seedling, improved seeds. They keep repeating it ad nauseum, about 10-15 times. Fertilizer, seed cuttings. You begin to ask yourself, what exactly is going on here? Why don't you construct this budget in such a way and manner that it will be intelligible? Because one of the basic rules in public finance management is that the way you present public expenditure should be in such that every man or woman, boy or girl or child, who can read English and write in English should be able to follow. You don't have to complexify or make something extremely technical. And even without even technicalizing it, the idea of seedling, repeated 10 times, budget different source of money, doesn't show any level of intelligence. It shows that the person is taking others for granted, or simply wants to pick money from the treasury without being able to justify it.
I'm now wondering, the role of the legislature is to actually go through this budget,
yes,
and scrutinize it more or less.
And we read out what should amount to this review.
Now, what does this say when every year, like you're saying, you point this out and it keeps appearing? Especially when you put it into point the whole fight that goes between the executive and the legislature, where the legislature says it's because it's going through and doing its legislative function of going through the budget.
Well, there's a class interest involved. The legislators also have a huge chunk of money which they pick up every year, not affected by inflation, by depreciation of currency, or by anything. For the past 3-4 years, been this 150 billion. So what I get is that it's a question of, you rub my back, I rub yours. So if you're going to insist that I remove all my frivolities when I'm aware of your own frivolous expenditures, proposals, and you are not ready to remove yours, who told you become a high priest to tell me to remove mine? I'm not going to listen to you, and you have no moral high ground to talk to me that way, because if you do, I insist you remove yours as well. And since you want to keep yours, I want to keep mine. So it's a ball. That's what's happening. That's my simple understanding of what is happening.
What's your way forward?
Well, the way forward is that the ball rests in the court of the Nigerian people. We need to take ourselves more seriously. We need to ask more questions. We need to write letters, make phone calls, send emails to our honorable members and distinguished senators. Tell them that we are sick and tired of this kind of rigmarole in the name of the budget. We need to send clear messages to the Minister of Finance, the Budget Office of the Federation, to the President and Commander-in-Chief, and indeed to all permanent secretaries and directors and those who consider themselves as the gatekeepers and the custodians of our public till. So by the time we get these people sufficiently informed of the way we feel and more or less the anger in the land, I think they may have no cause but to change. But if we continue keeping silent and think that manna will fall from heaven, well, good luck.